Hi, and welcome back to Get Lit, a series where I explain the mysterious and often elite world of literary fiction. In episode 6, we're exploring postmodernism. If you saw the prior episode on modernism, you might recall that modernism is all about the search for meaning, whereas postmodernism is all about celebrating the chaos when meaning collapses. Postmodernism is very much so a reaction to modernism. Postmodernism is post 1945. What are some distinctive characteristics of postmodernism? Well, one is that postmodernists reject absolute truth, which seems fitting in our highly technologized, internet savvy world. Postmodernists use metafiction, which is primarily writing about writing or reading something where you're very aware of its artificial, contrived nature. It's drawing attention to the contrived, to the artificial. Hey, you're reading a story. Similar to modernism, it relies on fragmentation in terms of both time and structure. Postmodernism uses a lot of unreliable narrators, references to other texts. There's often a lot of irony and humor. We are questioning both tradition and reality as a whole. So we might be questioning societal norms and traditions and bureaucracies and things like that, but we might also be literally questioning reality as a concept. Postmodernist texts can often feel a bit abstract or nihilistic. So, as you might be noticing, there are a lot of similarities between modernism and postmodernism, as the names imply. One thing that postmodernism really stresses is that no piece of art, no piece of literature is an isolated work. And that's where you can really get into intertextuality and making very obscure references. Postmodernism, like modernism, requires a lot of participation on the reader's behalf, in part because there is no absolute truth, there's experimentation, but also because in a lot of postmodernist texts, there's a blurring of fact and fiction, which requires obviously more viewer participation to discern. One other aspect of postmodernism is what we call pastiche, which is basically mashing together a bunch of stuff, mashing together different genres primarily. What are some examples of postmodernist works? Well, we've got Don DeLillo's White Noise, Gravity's Rainbow by Thomas Pynchon, maybe the most famous example of a traditionally postmodernist text. Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut, The Handmaid's Tale, Margaret Atwood, Percival Everett's Erasure, and Leslie Marmon Silko's Ceremony, which I reviewed